How much of this you putting on Pep?
Some, but not a lot. And I say that I too question the Fernandinho substitution. And on the one hand, where you talk about Ancelotti bringing on the youth that he did, who have the energy, who have the legs, Fernandinho doesn't. But it's a moment that also calls for leadership. And maybe with De Bruyne, who I think is more the natural leader of this team, but he's carrying an injury. You don't want to risk it too late on. And you think Fernandinho can provide that leadership. So maybe that's the balancing act that Pep Guardiola has to try to figure out in closing the game out. Other than that, and I think the reason why Guardiola isn't getting the kind of criticism that Pochettino got or Tuchel got is because this is just such an odd situation that you just cannot cater to this in the way it happened, in the way those last few minutes panned out. And why, again, I think leadership was a big miss, and maybe why I think Fernandinho was needed as over legs is even when Rodrigo scores the first goal on 89 minutes, you're still going through. Manchester City are still going through, and that's when you're more in need of leadership than legs. And somehow that got away from them. Again, speaking about just the oddity of the situation, I was saying this to Stevie earlier. That second goal from Rodrigo, if Valverde doesn't get a touch, it hits him in the belly button somewhere. How does that get deflected in the manner that it did and hit Rodrigo flush in the forehead for a perfect header? I mean, how can you cater to that?
Stevie, at the same time, you've said in the past, Pep is a guy that obsesses over it, right? Eats, breathes, sleeps football. What do you think today he's looking back on and maybe kicking himself over?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No. Manchester City should have walked this. If we can say, it's okay after the event to come out with all these things. I'll tell you right now, if I'm Pep Guardiola, I'm bringing Fernandinho on. You've got a 2-goal lead, and you want experience on the field, and you want somebody who can defend. I'm absolutely 100% bringing Fernandinho on. So I am not second-guessing bringing Fernandinho on. I'm second-guessing people missing chances. I'm second-guessing my former Football Writers Player of the Year having a shocker in the second leg and Laporte having a shocker in the first, which has nothing to do with Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola, I said it yesterday, Pep Guardiola can't make a tackle and he can't put the ball in the back of the net. All he can do is prepare his team to get in those situations and deliver. And when players of their calibre don't deliver, you cannot turn round and point the finger at Pep. Not on this occasion. Listen, there's been others where we've said, why is he tinkering with the formation and all the rest of it? Well, in my opinion, he did absolutely nothing. He sent his team out the way that he has the whole season, and they completely dominated this team, and just by mistakes by individuals and a little bit of the soccer gods, as Shaka was saying. So, no. If I'm Pep, I'm not dragging myself through the coals.
I think if Pep is looking back on this, it's more, and wondering what he could have done differently, it's more around the first leg. Because, truth be told, City could and should have won that 5-0. But
how's that any different than what Stevie's talking about? They just didn't finish.
But I think Stevie's talking, kind of focused on the second leg. In the first leg, I think City were by far the better of the two teams. Yet they go back to Madrid with a 1-goal lead. But then there were certain things about that game as well that were just totally out of his control. No Walker to play up against Vinicius. Ake starts. He has to come off early injured. That's, again, nothing that Pep could do about that.
Laporte, 2 goals.
But then you have to bring on Fernandinho, talking about legs, to play up against Vinicius Jr. of all people. If there's ever been a footballing mismatch, that's it. And that is just completely, and I say that you laugh, with the greatest respect to Fernandinho, but we are talking about legs again. And those are the things I think that make big differences over these 2-leg ties. It's not just about the last minute. It's not just about injury time or extra time in the second leg. But this game, this could have been put to bed in the first leg on your home patch. Instead, Real Madrid are still in the tie and have to go back to the Bernabeu where, again, we get to talk about and get to live that culture of this competition.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.